Mic check.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. It's the day after Christmas right now, including when I'm recording this. It's pretty late on what was Christmas Day. I'm counting it as still technically Christmas because I haven't gone to sleep yet. So it's still Christmas as far as I'm concerned. And I'm sure you're all wondering why I'm releasing this day after Christmas mic check hijacking. Well, as you may have heard, if you've listened to Mike's mic check for this week, which you should, go do that if you haven't done it yet. He abdicated his responsibilities last 2 weeks ago, and I failed to step up to the plate and do what I'm supposed to do and hijack this show to make sure that you don't miss out on your mic checks. I fucked up again. I know you don't want to hear me say I'm sorry, but I hope you know that I am. And I don't know why I do what I do, or put you through what I put you through, but I fucked up again. I fucked up again. I fucked up again. But I'm here to make amends now. I'm going to give you the mic check that you didn't get 2 weeks ago. And I'm sure you're thinking, well, what could you possibly have to talk about to make up for that? Well, because it's the future of that mic check, I have a lot of stuff to talk about now. But primarily what I'm going to talk about, what you may have even seen in the title if I choose to put it there, is my top 5 Christmas movies that I watched this year and last year, because I did not watch 5 Christmas movies this year. But between this year and last year, I watched exactly 5, and I'm going to tell you my top 5 out of those 5. So, I don't see any reason to put it off any longer, so let's just dive right on in here. And we're going to start things off with one of the ones that I just watched today. Ghosted, the Spirit of Christmas. This movie, I think, was released maybe just this. I actually don't know when it was released. Let me go. Ghosting, the Spirit of Christmas is what it's called. There it is. Oh my God, it was released in 2019, not too far back actually. This is a very cute, fun movie. After The Perfect Date, a woman dies in a car accident on the way home. She was looking at her phone, as these kids do these days. It's a very strong message against texting and driving. She wasn't even texting. She was reading a text. She was just staring at a text from this guy that she just had a date with. And she stopped at an intersection, got T-boned by a truck. Not even a semi, just a regular ass truck, like an F-150 or something. But even that had the power to do her in. But she comes back as a ghost. And the only people who can see her are her best friend and roommate and this guy. And so she's trying to solve whatever unfinished business she had to, be able to quote unquote ascend or cross over, pass on as they do. And, it's about love and friendship and all that stuff. Yeah, it was cute. It was very, it had a lot of those, the characters had sort of a vibe, it was dumb. A lot of the jokes and stuff on it were just pretty corny. It was almost in the vein of, it's like Broad City in a way, where it's just kind of goofing on the weirdness of, just that kind of person. It's they're goofing on themselves about being weird and spiritual and all that stuff. One person works at a tea shop and does the herbal remedies thing and sees a a spirit medium person for her problems and stuff, and it's kind of poking fun, but never being super mean about it and stuff. And yeah, that's always fun. Yeah, it was a fun movie. It was a good time. I mean, I enjoyed that. I watched that just today on Christmas. I watched it on Christmas, and that was part of my day was just looking up whatever movies I could watch for free on Hulu, and that was nice. But now, let's go back to let's take one from last year. I watched A Very Brady Christmas. Now, I grew up a little after the Brady Bunch, to be honest. The 90s wasn't exactly peak Brady Bunch time, but you could still catch reruns, and we would. My family used to catch it every once in a while. It tapered off over time. I feel like I saw more MASH than Brady Bunch, but I still have fond memories of it. A Very Brady Christmas is, at least from what I can remember of the Brady Bunch, a significantly more grown-up version of the Brady Bunch, and it was, years after the original run of it. Most of the quote-unquote kids were adults at this point, and that was reflected in the story of it, which was, you got Mike and Carol on their own now. Alice is no longer with them. She's alive, mind, but she got married to Sam the Butcher and was living with him. So they were off doing their thing, and they're planning a vacation secretly for each other. Each one is planning a different vacation for the other. One of them is planning on going to Greece, and the other one is planning on going, I don't remember where. But the important thing, Japan, I think, actually. The one was looking at Japan. And they have like this cute little thing where like they're both sitting on opposite sides of a partition talking to their travel agents, and then they suddenly realize that they're both sitting over there, and they're like, and Carol finds out that the money in their travel account is all gone, and then it's like, oh, well, there's Mike, he was planning the same thing for you, isn't that cute? And then while they're trying to decide that, Alice shows up because Sam went and like cheated on her with some other lady, and so she's distraught, and they take her in, and they're like, well, what can we do now? And they decide to try and get all the kids back together for a big Christmas. And it was a really cool thing to be able to get the whole cast back together. Like I think, as I recall, every single person comes back, and each of them has their own problem going on in some way, except Greg. I think Greg, he's perfect. He's a doctor and his wife's a nurse or something, and they're doing great. But like Peter, his wife is also his boss, and he's really insecure about it, and she just wants him to, pop the question so they can get married and stuff. But he's like, oh, but I'm less of a man if my wife's my boss, and it's that whole thing. But Bobby, he's a race car driver now, and he doesn't want his parents to know because it's dangerous, and they're all, oh no, what if he gets hurt? And he doesn't want them to find out, and he has to come out to his family as a race car driver, I guess. Then Marcia. I believe Marcia, I think she was in the middle. I think she was the one that was getting divorced in this one. Right? Shit. I believe she was getting divorced. That was her whole thing. Jan, I believe, her husband is like down and out because he like lost his job or whatever. He was a toy maker dude. And then Cindy is just like, she feels like she's treated like a child still, and she's just not cool with it, and she wants to be recognized as the adult that she is, and that kind of stuff. So everybody's got their problems and stuff, and they all get together at Christmas, and they all work it out somehow. Everybody gets their their problems solved and stuff, and it's a very Brady Christmas. Mike almost dies in a building that was about to collapse because his boss didn't listen to him, the architect who knows about architecture. That was good. It was a fun movie. It was, you know, it was significantly hornier than I expected it to be. Everybody in that movie is ready to bone down at every second. It's really something, and not quite how I remember the Brady Bunch being. So that was that one. What's next? Jingle All the Way. A classic, a holiday classic. I probably have seen Jingle All the Way before. I remembered a lot of it whenever I watched it again, but it's been a very long time, and I may not have ever actually seen it from the very beginning, but I more or less remembered it. For those of you who have never seen Jingle All the Way, it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger classic. It's right up there with Predator and Commando and all that. He is he's just a dad who's too busy with his work and other stuff, and you know, it's putting a strain on his relationship with his son, Anakin Skywalker, and his wife, who just hates to see Anakin disappointed and turning to the dark side whenever his dad doesn't show up for stuff like his karate stuff. He gets his purple belt and his dad isn't able to make it because he stays way too late at work, and then when he's trying to rush home, he gets pulled over and gets a ticket. You know, he's just, you know, you try your best sometimes, and then sometimes maybe you could try a little harder, Dad. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dad. But this time he's not gonna fuck up, right? He's definitely gonna do it right this time, because he's going to the big Christmas parade with his wife and son, and he's gonna be giving his son a Turbo Man action figure for Christmas. Well, it's all his son wants, is the Turbo Man action figure. There's a little bit of a knock on consumerism in there, where the kid like literally rattles off the commercial word for word, which is a great joke. But the problem is, he was supposed to buy that Turbo Man months ago. They're all sold out by now. It's the hottest toy on the fucking market, and you're never going to find a Turbo Man on Christmas Eve. Is it Christmas Eve? Is the parade on Christmas Eve, or is it on Christmas? I can't actually remember if it takes place Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, but I think it's Christmas Day. So he's rushing Toy Story to Toy Store to Toy Story. He's rushing from toy store to toy store. He runs into Sinbad, who's a mail carrier, and he's also trying to get a Turbo Man, and they're, you know, between friendship and not. Like, Arnold just wants nothing to do with Sinbad, to be honest, and Sinbad's all offended about it. But the moment that there's a chance for one of them to get a Turbo Man, they turn on each other. You know, there's just no loyalty whatsoever there. And, you know, it's just this silly kind of thing, these antics the whole way through. And in the end, maybe he gets the Turbo Man. Maybe. You should watch it and find out. It's a good movie. It's fun, it's goofy, it's pretty dumb, but it's a good time. There's a lot of good shit that I forgot about in there. It goes places. So yeah, that's 3 down, right? That's 3 down. Let's move on to the 4th one here. This isn't even my top 5. Like, it's my top 5, but they're in no particular order. I didn't think to put them in any order, but we're gonna move on to. I am saving what I think is the best one for last, personally. We're gonna move on to Holiday in Handcuffs. Now, this one is another one I watched today, and it was just kind of hanging out there on Hulu, and I was like, well, let's have a look at this. This is a Melissa Joan Hart film. She's kind of a, you know, just frazzled person, can't get herself together for stuff properly, you know, and her parents have these expectations of her, and at the beginning of it, we start in media res with her. You see Mario Lopez trudging his way through the snow, all cold and stuff, and she drives up next to him in her car and is just kind of telling him like, hey, you know, there's not a place for you to stop for miles. You're probably going to freeze out here. And he gets back into the car begrudgingly. He's clearly not happy with her. And then we flash back to what happens. So she misses out on this big job opportunity because she's late for an interview because she gets in a car accident and stuff. And her parents, you know, pulled some strings for that, and they were really hoping for it. They wanted her to go into this sales thing and make something of herself. And then while she's working at her other job, which is just a coffee shop or something, her sort of stand-in boyfriend that was just he was just a guy he's just like a friend that she has, I guess, that was just gonna be her boyfriend for Christmas to, you know, give her something that her parents wouldn't, you know, get on her about because they wanted to find a guy. They wanted to get a real job and all of this stuff. And she's just kind of like, I want them off my back. So he was going to do that, but then he drops out of that. And then she just snaps. She just completely loses it. Also, her perm went wrong, so her hair is all crazy and stuff. But she sees Mario Lopez come in, and she takes the flintlock pistol that the owner of the place has for whatever reason, just kind of sitting around. And she kidnaps Mario Lopez at gunpoint to be her boyfriend for Christmas. And so you get a lot of these antics of her, you know, she tells her family that, you know, the whole, like, I'm being kidnapped thing is just like a bit that he does, relating it to stupid jokes that her dad says whenever they're out at restaurants and stuff. And it's just this weird thing where Melissa Joan Hart and Mario Lopez are like the only real, reasonable human beings in the movie, and everyone else is just really fucking weird. But, you know, it's... There was a lot of fun stuff in this movie too, and it's got that whole meaning of Christmas thing, and it also has a bit of an ending similar to the Very Brady Christmas thing, where it turns out that everybody really is not, maybe her family isn't as perfect as they show themselves to be, and maybe, you know, other people, her sister and brother also feel like they've had undue expectations placed on them that they haven't quite held up to, and, you know, that kind of stuff. It's always great. And also, you know, over that time, Mario Lopez, despite the fact that he was going to propose to his girlfriend in that cafe the day that he was kidnapped, and he starts to find that maybe this Melissa Joan Hart isn't so bad after all. I mean, like, I don't feel like, having grown up in the age of Melissa Joan Hart, and, you know, in the age whenever everybody had a crush on Melissa Joan Hart, including me, I will say, I don't know if I'm as into, like, today's Melissa Joan Hart. I don't think she's, like, super weird or anything. I can't remember if I've seen anything particularly terrible regarding her. I don't know. She's been iffy, I think, over time, if anything. But at this point, she was still pretty good. So, but no, it was fun. Good movie. Enjoyed it. Had a good time with it. Nothing too special there. Well, let's move on to what I consider my top movie of the prior 2 years. And that was Happiest Season. Goddamn, of these ones, it's not it's sort of a comedy. It does have its comedy. It's a fun movie as well, but it's also more of a drama kind of thing. Drama, rom-com, comedy, drama. Yeah. But this one, it's got Kristen Stewart and someone else whose name I don't know. So Kristen Stewart's girlfriend is going to Christmas with her, you know, conservative family. Her dad's like a Republican mayor or something like that in their hometown or whatever. But she still wants Kristen Stewart to come along with her, but as just her regular friend for Christmas. And Kristen Stewart's just like, yeah, whatever, I guess I can do that. No big deal. That's fine. But it turns out that, it's actually going to be more of a problem than she thought to just, pretend to not, love her girlfriend. And so it starts to become like a whole strain on their relationship and all that. An ex comes into play, and it's pandemonium as time goes on. And it's a really good one. It's got a lot of the emotion in it and stuff. It's sad at times. You laugh, you cry, you laugh and cry again. But it is a very good movie. It's based actually on somewhat, I believe it was based off of like a personal story from the writer or something. It was kind of a thing that they actually experienced, which is unfortunate, honestly. I mean, I feel like you should be 100% willing to embarrass the shit out of your Republican parents if they're in office. If you have parents who are in office who specifically hold views that are against you as a human being, I feel like it's your civic duty to ruin that for them as best you can. So yeah, it was a really good one. And also, it was filmed in Pittsburgh, and that's always fun because, I'm from around there. So sometimes you see something and I'm like, hey, I recognize that sort of. No, very, very good movie. Highly recommend. I highly recommend most of these. I think Happiest Season, Very Brady Christmas, those two are top tier for me. And Jingle All the Way, I think, is still a really good classic. I'd probably put Holiday in Handcuffs above Ghosting. Hard to say. They're both around like the same kind of level. They're both in that zone of they're both very Hallmarky in a way. So if you like that, you'll find something that you're looking for there, I think. And I think you'll have a good time with them. So yeah, that's what I got for you today. Those are my top five Christmas movies of the past 2 years that I have watched. They weren't all made the past 2 years, obviously, as 2019 was one of those that I said. Holiday in Handcuffs is from 2007, and Jingle All the Way is like 95. Very Brady Christmas, God knows when the fuck that happened. Happy Season is really the only one that was released within that time frame. It was, I believe, that came out in 2020. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you had a nice Christmas, or whatever it is you got. A nice holiday season. I hope you had a nice time recently, whatever time that was. I hope you continue to have a nice time into the near future and even the far one as well. That New Year's is coming up, and we all got shit to do then, I guess. I do. I got a whole thing I gotta still prepare for. So yeah, y'all know where to find us. The social Juggalo Judgment. Hit me up on Juggalo Judgment or at Shmeev Twitter, or in the Discord, and tell me about holiday movies that you've seen that you like. If you've seen any of these ones, tell me what you think of them. Do you agree? What are your top 3 tracks from each of these movies? And what's the track that you would get rid of to improve these holiday movies? What would you drop out of it? Yeah, that's about it. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody, and Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, happy stuff. We'll see you in the next thing. Peace. Finish your stein of water. I'm not gonna drink all of this yet. It's too much water. I just filled it up like 15 minutes ago. Not 15 minutes. I've been going for longer than 15 minutes. I just filled it up some time ago.